Howdy friends, welcome back to Apron Streams. I'm so glad y'all are here. Makes my heart sing. And you know, the last time I looked, I was at 8,499 subscribers. When we get to 10,000, we're going to have a big giveaway. So we're not that far away. Please keep sharing with your friends and telling people about my channel and helping it to grow. Today we're going to make something that's just a good snack with a cup of tea or coffee or by itself. It's called Cruffins, and it's similar to a muffin, but it's made with puff pastry. Very simple. Some of my favorite flavors, cinnamon and sugar and butter. It's kind of like a jazzed up cinnamon toast. So I'm going to get y'all over to the butcher block and we'll get them made in the oven. Okay, what you're going to need is a box of puff pastry sheets, and I use the Pepperidge form. That's what's available. It'll be in the frozen section at your grocery store where the frozen bread things are at. And then you're just going to need some sugar and some ground cinnamon and butter. And what you do on your cinnamon and sugar, I use 1.5 cups of sugar to a fourth of a cup of cinnamon, and it's just about the right ratio for me. Now what I don't use, I'll put in my little container for cinnamon toast. But the process is you roll out your puff pastry. You want it to be about 11 by 15 inches. Mine's not always exact. Sometimes it's closer than others. To me, it's easier to get the length than it is the width. But I'm going to try to get this rolled out a little thinner, because you know how it puffs up. You want to thin it as much as you can. Then we're going to spread it with butter. And then I'll tell you what we do next. I'm going to see, I don't want to melt the butter. I would rather it would spread on there. Let me see if I can get it to just spread. Kind of like I do when I make my butter rolls. Just spread it on there. And you want it all the way to the edges, and I'll show you why in a minute. There's always a rhyme and a reason to most things. So get your butter all over it. Still been raining here. Bad. The June oven is heated to 375 and it's waiting. It won the prize for getting ready first today. Took Troy to the hospital on Friday for a routine heart cath to see if the pressure in his lungs was any better. And it's not. It's bad. But when they had him in recovery and we thought we were going home, his his oxygen dropped. So they admitted him to the hospital, and he's been on oxygen. And we went down there. We didn't take a bag or anything with us. We thought we were coming home. So this is actually Sunday. I came home last night, Saturday night, to spend the night and change clothes and take some clothes back down there, get me a shower, and take some clothes back down there for Troy, or, you know, take our ditty bag with us. So I thought, well, I'm rested and I feel pretty good, so I'm going to make these. I wanted something to eat, and I thought, well, I'll turn the camera on and that'll give y'all a video this week. I'm not sure how many we'll have this week, but at least I'll be here for Tuesday. And I hope to have the rest of the week up, but it depends on what happens with Troy. So let me get my butter on this other one over here. Some of y'all that are friends on Facebook already knew this. And I really don't know what the next step is. I don't think they have anything else they can do. One doctor has mentioned to him some kind of an ablation procedure on the lungs, but it hadn't even ever been done in the United States. They've done it in China and Russia. And I'm not anxious for him to be a guinea pig, but you know, he said everybody has to be a first for it to ever be a process. So I'm going to leave that up to Troy to make his mind up. Y'all just keep him in your prayers, and the good Lord's in control. He'll have his way regardless of what we want or think. We ask him, but the ultimate decision is his. So we're just going to trust him, and whatever he decides is best for us, I know that's what's best. It don't always look best to us though, does it? Okay, I think that's enough butter. I've got it smeared on there pretty thick. The thing we want to do is sprinkle our cinnamon and sugar on it. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on pretty good. You want lots of flavor in it. Now I know y'all are thinking we're going to roll these up and cut them like those little nut rolls that you can buy in the store that I used to love as a kid. But we're going to do them a little bit differently. See, that's way too much sugar, but I always have a little Tupperware container that I keep cinnamon and sugar mixed up in, so if I need it in cooking or if I want to make cinnamon toast, so I'll put that in that little container. You want to roll these up long ways, cylinder. I floured my board just a snitch, not much, so they wouldn't stick. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cut it in half, and in half again, and then I'm going to cut that in half. And I'm going to do the other one. Roll it up. This is a quick, easy breakfast treat. Real quick and easy. So cut it in half, cut it in half. That just gives you your proportions. They're almost equal. Gives you an idea. And I love to use my pizza cutter for stuff like this. Then what you're going to do, I've panned a couple of muffin tins, and you're going to stretch this out. And you're just going to kind of roll it around like a rose, but you want your goodie on the outside. And then you're going to set it in your muffin tin, and it's going to puff up and make a muffin or a cruffin. So I'm just going to roll it around here. Put it in there. Now when they get done, you want to get them out and put them on a rack, because this sugar is going to kind of caramelize, and if you're not careful, you'll have a hard something in the bottom when it starts cooling. So remember to get them out of the pan once they get done. And that's what you do. You're just going to roll it around your fingers, kind of like a design. Put it back in there. This isn't going to be a big one. It's wider. Here's that one. I'm going to have a couple of extras. I'll have to do one extra little cooking to get them all done. I'm going to scoop up some more of this cinnamon sugar on this one. Then when they come out of the oven, we're going to treat them again with some goodie. Okay, there's one pan. See how pretty they look? Like little roses or something. Now I'll get this pan done. I had thought I lost a lot of my backyard birds because my feeders broke. Actually, a big old squirrel got on them and just bent them and messed them up, and they're supposed to be squirrel proof. But I put out a bunch of feed, and I actually prayed the Lord would send me some birds. And I've got red birds and all kinds of little birds back there eating, and it just makes me so happy to go look out the window and see all of that pretty stuff going on. I love the birds. I usually get some travelers. We don't have rose-breasted grosbeak around here, but sometimes in their travels they'll stop to eat at my feeder. And sometimes I'm lucky enough to be watching about that time, and I love it. Don't y'all love puff pastry? Now you can do this with crescent roll dough, but the puff pastry makes the best ones. Okay, now we got 4 more to do here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and unroll them and re-roll them simply because they might get to where they are so stuck together I can't. But I'll have to bake these when these come out. So there's one. I think it's soaked in. Okay, I've got those ready to go in. I'm going to get all of these in and let them cook for about 15 minutes. And then we'll roll them in the sugar and cinnamon again and put them on a rack. Then I'm going to eat some of them. Okay, I got the first ones in the June oven at 375. And they actually bake for 15 minutes. And then I turn the pan around and bake them about 15 more. But you have to watch them because you don't want them to burn. So each oven will vary, but that's an approximate time. So I'm going to clean up this mess and get ready to make the next one. Okay, they've been baking for 15 minutes. I flipped them around and they've been baking 5 minutes this direction. They've got about 9 minutes left. And I had 4 little stragglers, and so I'm just cooking them in a cake pan. And I'll put them in when I take the others out. Okay, they're out of the oven and they're nice and brown. And I've already taken one of the trays and rolled it in the sugar, so I'm going to get these done. And I'm just rolling it in some more of the cinnamon and sugar. And I'm going to show you something if you're not careful. See how that got too brown on the edge? You have to watch them because the butter and the sugar will go down in there and burn. But all I do is I just pinch that part off and I just go ahead and eat it. Because the rest of them are pretty well perfect. Once in a while you'll find one that the stuff oozed out of it and burned. I just went ahead and let them cook the whole 15 minutes, and I should have stopped and looked at them to see if any of them was getting too brown, but I didn't. I was too busy otherwise. Get this out of the way, let them cool a little bit, and I'll be back and break one open and show y'all what they look like. Okay, I've got them on my plate, but I'm going to use my little OXO powdered sugar thingy here. And I don't know what its proper name is, but I'm just going to purdy them up a little bit with a little powdered sugar. And I'll be right back and show y'all what they taste like. This little thing is neat. It has a little handle right here that twists, and that opens it, and you scoop you up some powdered sugar. You twist it back and close it. One side is solid and one side is a shaker, and you can decorate stuff. I love it. Okay, y'all, these are good. I've told y'all before, when I was a little kid, I had to wear glasses, and oh my goodness, they were thick. And we'd go get them changed in Baytown, Texas, which is an hour from here. That's where my eye doctor was. And we would go have lunch at a place called Brown's Chicken Shack. And you got these big old delicious hamburgers, and always in the bag. Y'all ever been where there was a car hop besides Sonic? Those car hops would come out and take your order, and each burger was in its own little brown bag. And there was always a brown sugared, cinnamon sugar little donut in it. And that's what this made me think of. I broke me one of the outside pieces off. I'm going to show you. See, the outside is crunchy and good. See if it'll do. And the inside, oh my goodness, is full of butter and cinnamon and sugar. So this is my afternoon treat. I love the crunch, but I love that buttery soft inside too. They're not super duper sweet, so get the evidence off my mouth. If you wanted to add a little maple sugar or something, you could, or they'd be wonderful with some fruit sliced up with them. I hope y'all will try this. They're good, they're quick, well, 30 minutes, but they don't take a lot of mixing and doing. It's a good little treat for breakfast or any time. So I hope y'all will add this into your collection, and you need to try it. It's good. And you could alter the flavors if you wanted to add some nutmeg or whatever your favorite flavors are. You could add that to it. You can also brown the butter a little bit that you spread on there and give it a little bit of a nuttier flavor. So many options. But puff pastry, again, is just an open canvas to make whatever you want to. I have a lot of stuff I make out of puff pastry and absolutely love it. I keep it in the freezer all the time. So, I've got to decide if I'm going back to the hospital this afternoon and first thing in the morning. Troy said he's fine, and he may get to come home tomorrow, and then they will discuss that procedure and set a date for it if he agrees to it. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him, so I don't know anything about it, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm between go and don't go. And probably will wait till in the morning and get there bright and early and try to be there just in case the doctor comes in. I can see what his prognosis is and what he says. The good Lord bless and keep y'all. I will be back again this week if at all possible. And keep us in your prayers, and I'll try to keep you updated. See y'all soon.